What are three things that you think you did wrong in your relationship to cause a split?
Mm, to cause it, like I said, the only thing I can think of is just working a lot, and career choice seemed like it might have been an issue. That's really the only thing. I feel like everything else was cool.
Mm, okay. Um, what's the hardest thing you've had to deal with as a result of all of this?
I guess the opinions of people of how the relationship actually ended, all the lies that was told, which have been debunked. I'm vindicated now, but once a person gets an opinion about you or perception, they kind of stick with that stuff a lot of times. So
Mm.
that's the hardest part of it for me.
Do you think that people get a lot from, say, these clips? And I know one of the clips that kind of was circulating was where you said, "I don't want to be a daddy" or something like
Right.
that. I mean, I know there might have been context to that.
Oh,
Can you
most
give us
definitely.
the what was that conversation?
Um, Basically, I never planned. You know what I'm saying? I have two beautiful daughters, but it was never a situation where I actually planned it. Like, okay, I'm ready to have a baby now.
Mm.
So, in both of my situations, they stopped taking birth control purposely, and
Did they tell you?
after they was pregnant, they said they did it purposely. They Because at the time, I'm saying I wasn't ready to have a kid yet.
Mm.
So in that context of that argument, I'm raising kids that are not my kids, giving them my all, treating them like as if they're my actual biological kids. And to get called a deadbeat in the argument, it will make you get mad and say something like what I said. That's why I said it.
Okay, so
Right.
basically, her calling you a deadbeat dad, and you saying, "I never wanted to be a
Never
daddy."
wanted to be a dad. That's the only reason
Got
why I
you.
said it.
Okay. All right. Um, what do you want our viewers to know that they may have had misconstrued? They may be misunderstanding. Just like I asked you that question about you saying you never wanted to be a dad.
Mm.
I'm sure there are other things that have gone on. What would you want people to know?
Um, I guess as far as arguments, we all say things out of anger,
Mm.
um, but I've never intentionally hurt anybody. I love my kids to death, and being a father is like one of the best things that's ever happened to me after becoming a father. So,
Yeah. What's the relationship like with your kids now? And obviously, they're impacted. They see everything.
mm,
They're watching social media. I'm sure their friends
yeah.
are speaking on it because you guys have a very high level of profile.
Mm.
What's that like with them?
Relationship with my kids is good, man. Every moment I've ever spent with my kids have been beautiful moments. So, they know who I am in real life. So,
Mm,
none of that social media stuff can't even do nothing to that.
okay. What's the relationship like with her children? Do you still have a relationship with them?
When I see them,
Okay.
when I go to pick up my little girl, I see them. We definitely speak stuff like that.
Okay. Got you. How in this well this opportunity right here is for you to really clear the air. How do you think you've grown from all of these experiences that you've had?
I would just say just managing, keeping composure no matter what the situation is. You
Mm.
know, you should never even have to speak in the way that some people heard me speak in some of those audios. Should never even happen, no matter what. If you're angry or not, just walk away from that situation.
Yeah, definitely. I saw the clip where she was on what 911,
Mm,
and she said you had a gun or
mm,
something like that.
right.
What was that like? I mean, just across the board. Obviously, we know what we saw,
Mm,
but just overall because it seemed to be pretty triggering to And I heard you saying, I guess you're on speaker. I don't have a gun,
right.
and all of that. I mean, what did you feel when she was making those accusations in front of you?
Betrayed. I felt like she didn't want me to exist anymore or something. Because
Mm.
I mean, if the cops would have believed that, they could have came in and did anything to me. So they checked the house. They know it was no guns in the house or none of that. So you know, just
Yeah.
it was betrayal.
So after a moment like that you and her have, tell me this: what were you listening to probably leading up to that moment? Not like right before, but or what did you listen to right after?
I can't even say that I listened to music after that, man.
Mm.
It was a really tough moment.
Okay.
You
Did you
know.
know it was over then?
Yeah, I knew it was over, and I had said it because that video right there, that particular video, that has happened, and I chose to make it work. So at that moment, I knew that was it. especially after going through cancer. Because like going through cancer, I seen stuff a lot different.
Mm.
That battle was something different, so it made me realize how important I am, for my kids and all of that. And I said I can't go through this type of stuff no more. So I knew it was over with. That was it.
So that night, you guys go to separate rooms at that point? Is the conversation, is the house quiet? What's the vibe?
Nah, that night is the introduction of this divorce. It's serious. This happening now. I'm going to file. I'm moving into we're gonna go separate ways. Separated. We separated right after that.
Okay, so you had that discussion that night?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I had that discussion immediately after the conversation when the police left and everything.
And what did she say? What was her response?
She didn't want that.
So she didn't want to get divorced after that 911 call? So leading up to what we saw online, were you physical with her? Had you put your hands on her?
Nah. I've never put my hands on a woman in my entire life.
Okay. Wow. So she just ran with the narrative.
Ran with the narrative. Once it hit the internet, it was like almost as... She actually did come back and make a statement and said that I never put my hands on her. And she only brought up the finger where she was talking about the whole tote situation. That was it. She actually fixed it, but then turned around after that and went back and started back saying the same thing again.
Wow, man.
But it's a lot of money being made on social media with those type of lies, though.
Yeah. So you saw the recent, with the other influencer, I guess she did the 50-part series talking about her ex-husband and whatnot. So obviously, these are negative situations that gain a lot of traction.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about when you say these types of things are making a lot of money?
Yeah, it's a game for women. When women say these things on the internet, it's a game for them. It's not a game for the guys, obviously. It can destroy our whole careers and reputations behind that.
It is, once you kind of get that rap on you, it is different.
Yeah.
How do you think people responded to you, as you would move, through your day-to-day when they would see you, knowing how public all of this had been?
In real life, it's good. It's flowers. But on social media, it looks like something totally different.
I've heard you publicly speak on being abused as a man. How would you describe that type of abuse? Is it physical abuse? Is it emotional abuse? How would you define it from your vantage point?
I'd say from all levels, it's the same. But we don't really see it as that as men. We're taught to turn the other cheek when it comes to that type of stuff, especially when it's a woman. And some of us see it as love when a woman is acting like that, overthinking that you cheating or something like that. Some of us see it as love if that's what we seen coming up.
Yeah. So she put her hands on you.
She has, but the videos are out there. It's nothing that I would have never brought it to social media, but the videos was out there, so they could see that. Her physically like smacking me in the head, knocking my hat off, stuff like that.